Previously on PolyArmoury.
Ah, Valarie. I thought I taught you better than to rough up my customers. Your disgusting fetishes have no place in a respectable establishment. And he looks from you to Thrall to Puff. I think you and your collection of miniature dragons should leave. What's behind door number 3?
I'm hoping it's Delilah. Let's go through door number 3, please.
You clock him round the head, the back of his head caves in, and he falls forward onto Delilah.
I think the most sensible thing to do is not what happened before.
Yes, no genital torture, please.
There's some open roof at the back of the building. I need you to get round there nice and quick.
Okay, yeah.
As best I can, and with the help of the unseen servant, I'm going to try and sort of just get her up high enough that Thrall can help from the top.
Okay.
No. Oh no!
Okay.
I'm having a bad.
It'll poke you in the left eye if everything's okay. It'll poke you in the right eye if everything's not okay.
I can't see shit. To the fuck wagon.
The smart thing to do is to get the fuck out of here while we can, because we've gotten through this remarkably well.
Insert it into his urethra with a stick. Oh, thank you so much. My Patu, my Patu. And she runs forward. She gives her a massive hug. And she's stroking her hair and just sobbing. She's so happy to see her daughter.
The people that took her, there's every chance they're going to try and come back for her. They're trafficking young girls through who, well, they had no say in what was being done to them. And she's going to need some looking after, I think.
On the way back, Thrall is sitting with the Scrytome, playing Pigimon away.
I really fancy a crossbow. I think a crossbow would be super cool.
Crossbow, you say? You take the Scrytome back from Thrall, and you notice it is really, really hot. You imagine that if this thing had a power source, it would be absolutely rinsing it.
Fantastic. To Castle Twilight it is.
They're surrounded by a large azure moat, which is underlit in various places by some kind of glowing rock. There is a large concentric castle with these tall walls with crenellated battlements at the top. There is a large drawbridge that is down, and you head towards that. You are gestured in by one of the greeters and pointed in the direction of the stables. Inside is this incredibly luxurious building. It is actually seems to be a working castle. You're greeted by somebody in a red velvet suit. They point to this large bowl of pronoun badges by the door, and they invite you to take pronoun badges to how you would like to be addressed during your time here.
Oh, that's so cool. I take a she/her pronoun badge.
As do I.
And the boy takes a he/him and a they/them. A large number of people just gathered together, and they appear to be just having a little cuddle puddle together.
Aww.
There appears to be a large, like a wrestling ring, and there are two quite beefy bugbears, stripped to the waist, oiled heavily, and wrestling with each other. They're clearly doing it more for fun than actual violent sport or competition.
Oh.
All around you, out of their heads, seem to be lifting images as if their very own fantasies are being brought to life in illusory form above them. All of this is happening around the central stage. The performance stage is gesturing with her hands towards each person with a little flick of her wrist, a movement of her fingers. These images are literally rising out of the foreheads of the viewers, and they're watching these amazing, beautiful, arousing sexual scenes happening above them.
Can this be the end of our campaign?
I'm pretty fucking
just,
speechless right now.
Give up on saving the world and everything, and sure, give it 6 months or a year, we might die along with everyone else, but can this just be like the nice happy ending that our characters get as we just end up here and we're like, yeah, no, we're good.
She appears to be quite a slight, skinny, very pale skin, almost slightly blue-tinged skin. Very, very pale white. Her hair is azure/turquoise, and it falls to sort of just beyond her shoulders. And she has pure black eyes, no iris or pupil. It's all black, and she moves with incredible grace. At the moment she is sort of surrounded with this vague green mist, and they're embracing and kissing and engaging with each other, and it's beautiful and arousing and incredible. And then after a few seconds, everything just fades, and the room is just a room around you. The lights are slightly brighter than you imagined they were when you first walked in, and everybody just stands up and applauds wildly.
I join them.
As you stand, you realise that the woman on stage who's taking bows and so forth, from the waist down, has a crown of 8 cephalopod arms.
Oh.
She is a Cecaelia.
Fighting death and human horse, Thorson tried to kill them all. They escaped the vile moor. Now PolyArmoury store. PolyArmoury.
That's fucking amazing.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Stone Monkey Radio's role-playing series, PolyArmoury. I am Jane Magnet, and I am the mistress of this dungeon. Joining me today, to be punished until they scream the safe word, which today is masticatory, are Laura Kate Dale.
Hello, I am here. I am having a very chill night, and I'm ready to go on an adventure.
Adventure.
Adventure, Charlie.
And Astrid Johnson.
This episode is sponsored by Pink Fluffy Dressing Gowns. Pink Fluffy Dressing Gowns, the comfiest fucking things in the entire world.
Oh, I could really do with a nice dressing gown. Tomorrow, I'm going to get myself a nice dressing gown.
Fuck
Nice.
yeah, you
I
are.
recommend one with a hood.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
And I like pink fluffy dressing gowns so much, I've got 2.
Yes, you
they're
have
lovely.
a light pink fluffy dressing gown and a dark pink fluffy dressing gown,
do.
don't you? Yes.
I do. I got them
Yeet.
for both for the same birthday. About 3 years ago. They were on my my birthday wish list, and 2 people were like, "Yes, we will get her floofy thing," and now I have abundance of floof.
Excellent. This is the correct amount of floof.
It's nice. It's nice. So yeah, if
very
ever I
nice.
want to just sit around the house eating cereal in not quite nudity, then there is the option.
Exactly.
Get magic gear. Yeah. Shall we press on?
We probably shall.
Before we do,
Ooh.
this episode is sponsored by NatureBox. NatureBox.
What?
No, it's not.
I wish we had some kind of sponsorship. Sponsorships are nice. They usually require, suggest money occurs.
That's
Take
why I
back-
said that. Hopefully, NatureBox
Oh.
will go. Oh, let's give them boxes of
Look!
snacks.
If we're looking for any kind of promotional, I would like to hope it'd be Bad Dragon.
Oh,
You've got an in with Bad Dragon, don't you?
I have an in with Bad Dragon. I'm going to do the thing that I did. So I'm also on a podcast called Pixel Squirt, which is a video game porn review podcast. And I'm going to do the thing that we did there and see if it works. Hey, anyone that wants to sponsor our show, maybe companies that are okay with sex-positive things, like, say, Bad Dragon, do you want to sponsor our show, someone? Go
Primal
on.
Hardware is also available. Maybe even Love Honey. Oh.
I mean,
that'd be
don't get me
nice.
wong. I do own a lot of Love Honey. I think at
Yeah.
last count, I've got something like £2,000 worth of Love Honey stock
That's
around my house. The danger of Love Honey is that they do actually tell you how much all of your orders have totaled to over the years.
Oh,
That's
no.
not including all of the 2-for-1 things.
It's like the Steam library calculator.
There's a Steam library calculator.
Yeah.
It tells you
Oh,
how much
God.
time you would have to spend to beat all of the unbeaten games in your Steam library.
I've got nearly 700 games in my Steam library, and I've probably completed maybe 25 of them. Damn you, Humble Bundle! So anyway, if anybody wants to sponsor us, I have lots of sex toys, and I'm quite happy to get more. I already own a Bad Dragon product, and I love it very much. So Bad Dragon, very much so. If Love Honey, also very much so. But I think I've got almost everything of yours that I could possibly want. Extreme Restraint now, or Uber Kinky, if you want to get me some of that good stuff, or
Primal
Ethical
Hardware?
Kink. I didn't know I was into ovipositors until I saw that Vice article about ovipositors.
That
now I
tends
want-
to be a lot how a lot of kings develop is Vice articles.
Yeah. I don't know where my thing for tentacles came from. Anyway, back to the Speaking of tentacles, when last we left the show, had just watched quite an impressive display of pornomancy, of filth wizardry, and the greeter that had shown you in now hurries you towards the stage. Everybody is slowly filing out, so it is quite difficult to push towards the stage. There are a number of people greeting the performer. She's giving autographs and having Instagram pictures taken with various people. As you get closer, the greeter sort of waves to her, and she apologises and excuses herself, and she heads towards you. And it is quite a strange movement as these 8 cephalopod arms. I'm just going to call them tentacles. I know for any nerdy types listening, they're not tentacles. They're cephalopod arms. But just for the sake of clarification, she moves towards you on these 8 tentacles, and it is quite an interesting method of movement. She has a sort of sway about her, and there's something sort of...
Is there some undulation?
There's quite a lot of undulation. And she comes to greet you and sees that you have Delilah with you. Delilah, darling! And she embraces Delilah and sort of holds her close. You must be Madame Valarie and Brilmara and young Thrall, friends from back in the old days. Some of my girls have worked with you, yes?
Yes, that's us. Hello. I've heard many good things about you.
I am Mistress Alluriana. This is my place. This is Castle Twilight. Please come with me. I will show you to the rest of your friends. And she picks up Delilah and leads you towards a staff-only entrance. You go through a number of corridors into a very large and ornate dressing room. Mirrors on the walls, each dotted with spotlight. There's all number of people, all different species preparing themselves, and there indeed is Zoris and a lot of the girls that you knew from Madame Valerie's Working Girls Collective.
Valarie! Valarie breaks down and starts sort of crying, my girls! Oh, come here! And sort of just like flails her arms about until they all like hug her or something.
They all come and embrace you, and you...
And I collapse into them,
Aww.
crying.
There's Hilda, who was always sort of quite quiet. She was one of the first to give up sex work. She was more of a dancer, and clothed at that, but she was very good. She had amazing moves, and she was quite good friends with Brilmara. She's not so... She's not so much as to give you a hug, but she just gives you a little wave, knowing that that's not really your thing.
Considering that, like, hugs are a thing that are okay on Brilmara's terms, I think she is gonna go and instigate a hug.
And seeing that this is okay, you both have a bit of a hug, and she whispers in your ears, "Have you been okay, yeah?"
Yeah, doing alright. It's been too long.
It has.
Yeah, it's probably not actually been that long, but it feels like a long time.
It's been a long couple of months, a lot of changes.
That indeed.
And you break apart, and Thrall gives a little wave, looking a bit sort of sheepish and vaguely hopping from one foot. The cuddle pile around Madame Valarie slowly starts to disperse, and Alluriana addresses you again. She's rested Delilah down on a nearby chaise.
Good.
Darlings, thank you so much for bringing her home. I know she was part of your family, but she's equally part of my family now, too.
Thank you so much for looking after them all. I'm just glad they've been in really good hands. I've heard nothing but wonderful things of you and your establishment here.
I very much like to look after my people. It is essential that everyone is safe here. Sadly, we do live in this fortress, but it is where we are most safe and most looked after.
It's regrettably necessary, and I suppose it does come with the added caveat of being damn stylish.
She smiles at this and gives a little chuckle. Would you care to stay for a while? Do you have anything
Please?
to do?
I mean, we need to be in Groybon in about 4 days, but that means it takes about a day to get to Groybon from here, which means we have 3 days. And if if it's okay with you, I'd love to just stay here for a while.
Just as a reminder, Valarie, like, we do have other things other than dropping stuff off that we have to do there. Like, there's a big old library we got to do stuff with. Like, we should probably give ourselves a couple of days to get everything done.
Brilmara.
You've got time for a long rest.
Brilmara, can we stay here for a bit, please?
We can stay here long enough for a long rest.
I think it would be good for my mental well-being.
We can stay here long enough for a long rest, but
Thank
also
you.
We're not gonna leave here like, oh, it's like 6 hours till the drop-off. I guess we're going.
Oh yeah,
now.
no, don't worry. We're not going to do that. Like, stay here a couple of days. Give us a day to travel there, and then like we like stay the night there, and then tomorrow we do the drop-off.
Okay.
Sound like
I say okay as if I'm like, not happy about this. I'm very happy about this, but also, planning.
I know, it's alright. We're gonna have time. We're gonna have time. We just also have time to do nothing for a moment.
We're gonna stay here a couple of days.
Okay, so what do you want to do? You can join the Cuddle Puddle. There's non-sexual areas of the castle. You can get involved in a bit of wrestling if you want. You can enjoy drinks.
Literally all of the possible things that we could do, I want to do them.
Are we just like, how many activities are there? How much time do we have? Divide the amount of time by the number of activities.
Let's not get too officious about it.
That's very much Brilmara's way.
Indeed,
It's
it's,
true,
very
okay.
much like, let's spend an equal amount of time at all of the activities.
Okay, I'm gonna go off and just let the flow of the sexy flow take me.
You have a couple of days of various activities. You get involved in a bit of topless wrestling. You have an astonishing amount of sex. Lots of cuddle
fantastic.
puddles. You are pampered. You have massages and get your feet done. You head down to the dungeons. There's where you switch up roles. What's Valerie's role? Is she sub, dom, switch?
Valarie can switch, but she's usually a dom.
So, well, you can even take on some work here. If you'd like, I will let you roll. You can roll a performance check, and I'll let you try and earn some money.
Excellent.
If you fancy
I was hoping
domming
this
for cash.
That would be fine. Okay. 21, motherfucker!
Impressive.
Yeah, I know.
So yes, you do an incredible scene with this very subby bugbear. Huge, powerful, but loves to be subby. And you had a great time thrashing them for a while. And obviously, the wonderful thing about this is that there are various magic users around. They are the dungeon staff, and in any of the rooms where sexual contact can take place, they will first enter a room, negotiate a safe word with you, and cast a spell over the room. As soon as that spell is cast, everything will absolutely freeze and stop. It will then take one of these agents to come in and literally pull you apart so that everything is out of the way. And before anything can happen, it's a safety mechanism built into the entire facility here.
They've got a good thing going on here.
I really thought about this place.
It shows.
So for that, you may have 10 gold.
Yes.
Well done.
Hey.
Brilmara, what have you been up to?
Just trying to spend about an equal amount of time taking in everything there.
Have you done anything for cash?
Not opposed to doing anything for cash.
Do you want to earn some money while you're here?
Let's earn some money while we're here.
Okay, what would you like to do?
I don't know. There's too many options. Oh,
Pick a kink.
Any kink.
I feel like there should be like one of those big wheel of fortune style wheels where you have to spin the wheel. It's like, you will be doing a scene of this.
Spin again. Fuck. Okay, so Brilmara, are you a dom or sub or switch? Where would you go with? What role would you like?
Let's go the opposite of Valarie, so we'll go sub-leading switch.
Okay. There is a rigger who is looking for a rope bunny and is a bit into Durigar, and Madame Alluriana comes and asks you specifically if you wouldn't mind being a rope bunny / Spanky for this person.
I think we can definitely make this work.
Okay, you head down into the dungeons, and this tall, rugged tiefling introduces themselves. You have a good half-hour chat going through everything, your safe words, your limits, and so forth. And let's have a performance roll.
Oh, the pressure is on now. I have a -1 on performance, so...
It's okay, I believe in you! I believe in you!
9! That's not great.
Okay.
You're just really good at taking it, so it doesn't really, like... no,
The tiefling has an okay time. I think they've learned not to fetishize people by their species, but they did have a nice time generally. So you will earn 5 gold.
I appreciate that, and now I feel just like... I feel low-key bad now. I'm like, oh, I wish you had a better time. Sorry.
They had an okay time, but I like to think that perhaps they've learned that they shouldn't fetishize people just for their species and think that that's going to make everything good.
Hey, you've got to have other things that make you connect rather than just that fetishistic aspect of the person themselves.
This is becoming a super, like, kink-friendly, yes, learning stuff about things episode, isn't it?
Yeah. There was no way this episode wasn't going to end up being that, I feel like.
I don't know what this episode was going to be. So, collaboratively, what did the boy do?
Oh, I'm having to think now.
So, you know, Thrall's been tagging along with us and everything whilst we're doing all this, but he hasn't yet had the opportunity to just have his thing, you know? And Thrall is Pan.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking is, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this or not, Brilmara, 21 gun salute.
Ooh.
And when I say gun, I mean...
You mean that it's going to be a lot of wang?
A lot of wang.
I think this is how we do this. Just
yes.
Thrall and a lot of wang.
So is it now the 1812 overcome?
I like to imagine it's the 1812 all over you. I like to imagine that also this would be done as a show, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Somebody want to roll the boys' performance then? Let's see how...
Maybe constitution endurance? I mean, he's got a pretty good constitution save, you know what I'm saying?
His performance, did you say?
Let's do performance. We've done this for the rest of you, and we are
18!
18!
Ooh, I'm so proud of our boy.
There is not a dry eye in the house. There are some people squinting, though. It's an incredible show, and obviously everyone involved very much enjoyed themselves, and the crowd very much enjoyed themselves. They sold a lot of drinks. I will let that one go for another 10 gold.
Nice boy. There we go.
Very nice boy. And the boy looks very happy indeed, and a little bit...
I should imagine.
So then, your time at Castle Twilight is coming to an end. Delilah has, in the last couple of days, very much come back to herself, and she has thanked you endlessly for everything you've done for her. Madame Alluriana has been very happy to have you here. Thank you so much. It's been so beautiful to have you here. You have given amazing shows, especially you, Thrall. And she gives him tousles his head a little bit. He has no hair, but, you know. And he sort of purrs slightly. And she holds hands to offer for a hug, if you would like a hug, before you depart.
I accept a hug.
I also accept a hug, a big squeezy hug.
Is the boy into a hug?
Yeah, I'd say the boy's in for a hug.
Okay, then the four of you have a big old hug.
Eee.
And squeeze. There's a lot of oxytocin going around in this room right now. It's all good. You're bonded
That's
nicely.
Really nice. That's good.
You have made a frond. So, your piggies have been looked for you, stabled for free, because obviously you are part of the family now.
Ah.
You are welcome back anytime. It's been so lovely to see you, and you give such good performances. if you do ever find yourselves in Turtown again, please do come back to Castle Twilight.
Absolutely.
We fully intend to make our way back here should we survive the multiple podcast episodes of dangers ahead of us.
Wink. Okay, you head back onto the cart and, following directions that you've been given, head towards Groybon. After about a day and a half's ride, during most of which time Thrall has been playing Piggymon away, he's caught a couple more piggies, another green one and a blue one, and he seems to be training the ones he's got. He's properly in the zone for Piggymon right now. He will play it pretty much any time of day or night. The cart trundles on, you stop for a brief rest at one point. All is absolutely fine. Eventually, passing through a number of smaller tunnels that they're quite low ceilings but very wide, as if old tunnel structures that were created by water have been stretched out for use with heavy cart traffic. Heading towards this large central city. You come very suddenly from this quite low-ceilinged tunnel into just this most stunning, enormous cavern. It reaches up hundreds of feet above you.
Damn.
There are huge, tall, spired buildings, like great stalagmites reaching up towards the roof of a vast cavern. In the very centre of which is a vast clear crystal which spreads light across the city during the day. You know from your history that it was fashioned and placed there over 2 centuries ago by Ban Trollslayer himself, after uniting the city against the chaos of the selfish destruction that faced it. This city is vast and multicultural and diverse. Whereas Mordtown was mostly kobolds, orcs and goblins, here you see tieflings, dwarfs, elves, bugbears, nothics, imps and more as well. Even a human here and there. And as you move through the city you hear voices speaking in all manner of languages. There are food vendors of all kinds to be found on the streets. The smells are incredible, all these different cultures all mixed together. There are shops selling anything you could possibly want to buy for a price. Moving through the streets, you see theatres, museums, galleries. This is not like the Underdark that you have experienced anywhere else. In your lives, you've heard tell of this place, but this is far beyond anything you dreamed.
All of those descriptions you were giving of the big sort of crystal, in my mind, I'm just picturing Final Fantasy now. I'm like, oh, big giant crystal that everything is good. Final Fantasy!
Which Final Fantasy?
Most of them have big giant crystals somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I think Final Fantasy 8's got a couple. 9's definitely got some crystals.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, this is the Underdark's like, oh, we found the town with the big magic crystal from Final Fantasy.
I didn't say it was magic, just a crystal.
Okay, it's magical in the sense that I look at it and go, oh, wow, that's really beautiful. And beauty is in and of itself a form of magic.
It's true. That is very true.
Holy shit, Rosa Luxemburg just followed me on Twitter.
Thought she was dead.
I know, right? That's why it threw me off a bit.
Wait, who is that?
She's
Rosa Luxemburg was a German socialist revolutionary who I'm very much a fan of, and she just
the one
followed
who
me
died in 1919.
Yeah, and she followed me on Twitter.
How does she even have a Twitter?
I think it's part of this thing that's happening because it's 2017. It's 100 years since the Russian Revolution, so there are loads of like accounts that are like, this is what this person would have tweeted like if they were alive today.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. Because isn't there one of like how Stalin would be tweeting?
Yeah, there's also Lenin, and it's wonderful. Yeah.
Is this some kind of like official account?
I think it's part of an official celebration called 1917 Live.
Back to D&D.
Stores you're familiar with have larger versions here. There is a huge Cartone warehouse, a Bumble's department store, a Daru's over 2 floors, which is just filling the street with the smell of delicious fried rat. And at last you come to a massive PolyArmoury. It is absolutely huge. It goes up for 60, 70 feet into a giant point, at the top of which are several lights. It appears that there are offices. You can see from the sign that there is a museum here as well of ancient artifacts, weapons and so forth. Here you see that people are unarmed, whereas Mordtown pretty much everyone had a weapon, and Turtown, although you had a lot of refugees there, not so many people, not everybody was weaponed, but they certainly had armour on. But here and there's no one, they're mostly just dressed in normal clothes. However, there are here and there people dressed in very smart, crisp red uniforms, wearing little fur caps, each carrying a crossbow and a short sword. Upon their breast they wear shining metal badges. These are the Ban Force, named after Ban Trollslayer himself. The locals call them mods, after Ban's hammer.
Before anything else, I would like us to head straight for the PolyArmoury if possible.
Yeah,
because
that's
I'm just paranoid about having this hammer, not reach its destination.
Okay.
Yeah, it's big and it's important and it's very expensive, and I don't want to be in 6,000 gold's worth of debt. Yes, good plan. Let's do the thing.
You roll the cart over to the PolyArmoury. You see a deliveries entrance to one side. You ride around and down into there, and you greet a bugbear who's standing there. You actually know this bugbear because you've seen them on the scrypad.
Oh!
Oh, it's you.
Hello!
You're Vendy's lot, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Madam Valarie, Brilmara, and Thrall.
And I understand you were bringing the hammer. Any joy in Turtown?
Yeah, no, we got the hammer. We have the hammer.
Goodness.
Yes,
goodness.
here it is.
Finally did a job right. Hooray.
Yes, I heard about your last attempt on that, of course.
We weren't expecting a big old monster to tear everything up. We were a little caught off guard, but it's fine. We got the job done. It's there, the hammer. Woo. And I hand over the hammer.
Present the hammer.
Oh, I suppose you got the hash stone still, do you?
Yep. And hand over the hash stone.
Okay, and the bugbear checks the hash stone on the hammer that he's holding. Yep, it vibrates and glows.
Well, excellent. Here it is. I never thought I'd personally hold Modritar, the hammer of Ban Trollslayer. Very impressive.
It's a ban hammer.
Oh.
It's oh my god! It's the moderator hammer for banning the trolls.
Oh my god, Modritar!
Jane! Jane!
Oh my god! I can't believe it took me this long to put together what was going on. I was like, oh yes, what fascinating fantasy Oh god, no!
I've been sitting on that fucking joke.
I'm so sorry it took
God.
us so long to get it.
How did we say Moderator that many times without putting that together? As soon as, I am slow with double meaning sometimes, but the second I realised what's going on there, that was fantastic. That is beautiful. Thank
so
you so
good,
much.
honestly.
Thank you for taking us on this journey.
Well,
beautiful.
congratulations, that's the end of PolyArmoury. Well done.
No.
Well, I guess we'll be putting this in the exhibit now with the rest of Ban's stuff. So glad to finally have the rest of the work completed.
Well, what else of bands do you have?
Oh, we've got a couple of his helms, some of his writings.
Well, I'm glad we could help you complete the collection.
Would you like a look around the museum before you head off?
Absolutely.
Well, you take a stroll around some of the greatest pieces of weapons and armour of Underdark history. There are some incredible old pieces, some beautiful ornate hammers, swords, scimitars of all sorts. Some of them you've heard of, from your history. All in all, this is a weapon collector's wet dream. Here you are in... What do you want to do? Do you want to...
So
We came here for another reason.
we've got to go check out the library. And
The
then
great library.
we do at some point have to actually go back to where we are employed.
Yeah.
I suspect we cannot stick around here forever.
As nice as that would be,
I
this
think
does seem like a pretty great place.
should we go do the stuff we've got to do in the library and then assess how much time we have before we need to start our journey
Yeah.
backward?
And whilst we're here, I'm definitely interested in seeing, because it took quite a trek to get here.
Mhm.
When we're not on company time, I should imagine, it'd be quite pricey to get here from Moortown. Is there any documentation I can buy that perhaps, might give me a discount for, frequent journeys? Because I want to spend a lot of time here.
Are you suggesting that you want to buy, the equivalent of a national rail card?
Or, is there maybe...
I mean, you could try and find yourselves a mount at some point.
We could.
Or a couple of mounts. I imagine a cart would cost considerably more than you have, though.
Yeah. Oh, I missed my opportunity. When you were saying that we need to find some mounts, I'd be like, I'll find you a mount.
Oh, there's something I've seen knocking about back when I used to have the collective. It's called the Oyster Cart Company.
Oh, your oyster cart.
Okay, yeah, you can...
That is a silly joke that does not in any way benefit us doing the things we need to do.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make it. Okay,
do you want
to
head and see if there is a local branch of the Oyster Cart Company?
Sure thing. Yeah, I need to renew my membership. So
okay, so you head out into the streets, passing a number of street venues, a number of interesting shops. There's some options for fighting, if you'd like to get involved in bets of that sort. Eventually you come to a large open courtyard. There is a number of two-tone blue painted carts.
I just need to check how much travel time I have on my membership form. Mm-hmm. Is there a desk I can go to?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
There is an officious-looking goblin.
Hello.
Oh, hi there. You remember, yes?
Yes. I ruffle around in my shoulder bag and I pull out a blue shell and I put it on the desk.
Goodness, we haven't used these for a while. Are you from the countryside?
It's been a little while since I've used the service. I just wanted to check and see, maybe I get a new, whatever we're using now. I just wanted to make sure how much travel time I've got on my account.
Have you got a Scrytome? We mostly just do it as a touch system now.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
There is on the table a large round disc. It's yellow and it has a picture of the oyster shell on it.
Okay, so I suppose I just put my Scrytome on this disc, yeah?
Put the Scrytome on there, and the assistant there takes your old oyster shell, also taps it on the yellow disc.
Okay, so it looks like you've got about 50 miles on here.
Okay, cool. That's not too bad.
You want me to transfer that over to your Scrytome and get rid of this whole thing?
Yeah, sure thing. I
should put this in a museum.
God, changing times, huh? Changing times.
The times they are a-changing.
What a time to be alive.
I'm still laughing at moderator.
Yay!
I'm laughing about everything that's happening right now.
So he takes your oyster shell away and you...
You can take your tome now if you want, unless you want to add some more credit.
Thank you very much. I'm happy with the 50 miles time. So yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.
No problem. Let us know if you need anything. We've got a few Uber carts out here as well. One of the bigger ones if you need it.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
That voice was beautiful.
It was great. It was great.
We should head to the library.
Yes, let's go to the library.
You head out of the oyster cart lot, and across the road you notice that there is a shop, Nestler's. You know the brand because they are the company that make Croak, beverage that is sold in all dairies and all across the Underdark. It's one of the most popular drinks around. It's a very modern looking shop, glass fronts, and inside they just seem to have a huge amount of space, but with only 3 or 4 shelves in there. There's a lot of glass and light, and they just seem to have just bottles of a clear liquid on the shelf.
Huh.
You head down the road towards where you've been directed as being the library. On the outskirts of what would be the old town, when Groybon was just a town, before it sort of swarmed and encapsulated various other parts of this area and became spreading to a full city. What would have been on the outskirts of that is this large spiral building, a stalactite with a seam that runs around the outside of it, almost as if a giant screw stretching up into the air. It stretches ominous and tall above you, this strange screw, ready to pierce the ceiling above you. You can see that the light above ground is getting lower because it's becoming much more twilight and dim, and it almost takes on a magical golden colour in the Underdark here, and it looks strangely beautiful and haunting. Before you come to the library, you pass a small building that looks like it was knocked together out of bits of wood. There is what looks to be some kind of board outside, slightly oval, long and wooden. It appears to have a fin on the bottom, and in neon pink paint, clumsily splashed on, it says, "We are open." And on a large piece of driftwood that hangs above the door, it looks like it was once a wooden plank, and then it had floated in some ocean at some point for a considerable time. Fished out and rescued, and painted across the top of it in blue, the High Elves. Just across the road from this, looking shifty as heck, is a gnoll with arms crossed and hat pulled slightly down, but it is very clearly surveying the street around you. You finish heading off towards the library. You open the grand doors. Before you is just an incredible building. You've never seen anything like it.
Brilmara, look how big it is.
That is a heckin' big building.
Also, I don't know about you, but that building that we passed a little bit earlier, I think that was something to do with drugs.
Are you just assuming that because something was slightly sketchy and you assume it had to be drugs?
Brilmara,
Yeah.
it was called the High Elves.
Yes, and are you suggesting
And there was a shifty-looking individual across the street.
Are you suggesting that High Elves, which are a legitimate race that exist, are in some way a reference to narcotics? That's just offensive.
There were some very strange-looking pipes in the window of that shop.
I think you are stretching your... Yeah, you're right. It's probably something to do with drugs. You may be right, but I'll go deal with this big building first.
Yeah, let's put that there later. See what's what.
The doors to this building are large and blue. The paint is starting to peel off them. It's obviously not been properly cared for a good long time. You throw the doors open and head inside, and it's massive. Absolutely stunning. Every single piece of wall is covered in bookshelves and books. There are brass fittings with large lights hanging over them. There's a few desks immediately in front of you. And as you move towards the centre of the room and look up, it is just levels and levels and levels of the same, getting smaller and smaller as they reach almost beyond sight to the very top of this building.
Damn.
I know we were here for something, but my mind's just gone blank now. There's just so many books.
Inside is silent. The air is thick and heavy. There is a feeling of stillness that feels oppressive.
Oh, no, that's not too great.
We were here for something to do with trying to work out what's going on with the humans, right? That was the idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Is there is there like a librarian or someone we can ask about this?
Yeah, is there a desk? Because I don't know where the fuck to start.
There is a desk. You head over, and there appears to be a crumpled pile of blue fabric, and it's breathing.
Hello?
Looks like we all caught each other off guard there.
Who are you? What are you doing in here?
I've forgotten the name of myself.
Madam Valarie.
I'm Valarie. I'm looking for specific books on a specific individual.
Individuals. Well, we've got lots of books in here. Our library, after all.
Can you help us find specific books?
Well, what are you looking for? I'm sure I can open a portal to any section of the library.
Oh, damn, that's pretty fancy.
Here's the deal. We're here to find out some stuff about humans, what's going on with them, why they might be coming down here more often than they were before. You know, just human research.
We've got a whole floor on humans. You're going to have to be more specific.
We're looking for information on a group known as the Fist of Guileway.
Fist of Guileway? Sounds bloody ridiculous.
It does, doesn't it?
He moves over to a large crystal ball, takes the sleeve of his coat and starts bashing it about a bit, trying to get some of the dust off.
Goodness, place is falling apart.
He gestures over it, and it glows beautiful and golden. He sort of gestures across it and moves his hand and manipulates it on a base that seems to let it rotate freely.
Guile away. I'm not getting anything.
Okay, let's try a human by the name of Thordson.
Thoughts. Human. There's a few Thoughtsons in here. Anything more specific?
Thoughts. See if you can cross-reference the light with the name Thordson.
No, still not terribly helpful.
Can you cross-reference it with any images?
What sort of thing are you looking for?
A symbol of a blue tree upside down.
Ah, that sounds more like it. Thordson. Let me try that. 1 minute.
He's very into this now.
Ooh.
He clearly hasn't had a lot to do for a while, but now that he's getting a chance to do a bit of research, he's getting quite into it.
He's invested.
He is well invested.
I get the feeling that, like, his seeming apathy when we first found him is not to do with a lack of actual interest in the job, but perhaps just a lack of opportunities to do the work that he likes doing.
He's just a bit jaded.
I think you might be right, just that he's not a lot of people come here for research. People just aren't interested anymore. I imagine
Young people these days think they can get everything from their tomes. Good books not too good for them. Right. Nothing connected with this Thordson. A lot of Thordsons in here. Popular name, bloody humans. It's better like rabbits. This blue tree, though. I think you're going to find something about that. 65th floor.
Mm-hmm.
Rhodey, you're looking for a book called The Silent Monks of Napping.
The Monks of Napping.
Silent monks of napping.
Silent
Monks of Napping.
Okay, thank you.
You want me to portal you up there?
That'd be lovely, thank you.
and he gestures wildly, just a huge sweep of both hands in a circular motion, and then throws them out in front of him, and just in front of you appears a portal, and you see in front of you a number of bookshelves.
Thank you very much. And I step through the portal.
Don't make any mess up there.
We'll be very tidy, don't worry.
Try not to make too much mess.
Oh, I feel like that's foreshadowing.
No mess in my library.
So going
I'm
through
watching
the
you,
portal...
Durgar. I see you marked. You don't think I don't notice?
Can I just say out of character, I fucking love this character.
This character is wonderful.
Crotchety librarian.
I love him.
Hey, as I'm stepping through the portal, I just turn back to him and go, just because I like Eldritch Beast doesn't mean I'm going to make a mess.
You step through the portal. You feel a pull on you as you realise that you're travelling at just an incredible distance and also nowhere at all. You are simultaneously existing in two places in this very building, and it all feels a bit weird to travel so. Also, you are standing very close to the railings for this, and you can see straight down 65 floors.
Oh, damn.
This is weird and bizarre.
It's really cool, though, isn't it?
Oh, I'm not going to deny that it's really cool. Can you see where this book is? Can we see from the spines of the books this Silent Monks of Napping?
I'll make an investigation check. Or maybe a perception check? I think that might make more sense.
I think with your base perception, you'd be able to see it, at least one of you. You've been told what to look for. You find a large-ish, leather-bound, although what kind of leather you don't know, book. It's large and green, been thumbed a few times, but it seems to be, as you look through it, the history of a group of monks.
Thumbed a bit.
From the far north, not a place you are particularly familiar with.
Damn.
Most of it's quite mundane, boring stuff. A visit from a god, someone claims to have seen something or other. Most of them they're not like fighting monks, they're quite pious. They spend a lot of time praying and singing very boring hymns. And making very strong wine just to pass the time, I think.
Sounds like a fun way to live.
Reading through this book, and as the day wears on, you find mention that a small child was adopted into the monastery. About 6 years old. His parents had been killed by a Nothic.
A Nothic?
Yes. The monastery took the boy in, and he lived there and was raised there. He studied a lot of history. About 11 years later, one night, the entire monastery was destroyed by a hellhound. The locals found what was left of the monastery and wrote the sort of final entries in this book. There were definite signs of a hellhound, large footprints. People in town said they had seen and heard that it had been a hellhound, and the rest of the monastery burned to the ground. The boy, not Thrall, was the only survivor, and this poor child had lost everything again. It was said that he took on the symbol of the monks, which was a blue tree that hung upside down, and that boy was filled with hate for all dark creatures in his life, so tormented by creatures of evil.
I wonder if this is perhaps a certain human we know who doesn't like the denizens of the Underdark.
Just adding to my notes. Thornton, raised by monks. Hates.
Wait,
all
who was
dark.
raised by monks? We've not had confirmation of that it was Thornton.
I highly suspect there is a good chance, seeing as we cross-referenced Blue Tree with the name Thornton. The boy that we've read about in this book is Thornton. It would make a great degree of sense.
To clarify, I believe the case was we couldn't find anything on Thornton because there were too many Thorntons because humans, and this was just looking up the symbol.
Yep.
Oh,
This is true.
right. Okay. Well, I definitely think this is Thornton.
I still get the suspicion that human that does not like the denizens of the Underdark because of reasons that would motivate them that way. Probably.
And where's a symbol of a blue tree upside down?
Probably Thornton.
Okay.
There
Wow.
are some more books of this area if you want to have a look around nearby.
Can I make an investigation check to try and find any other relevant information?
Let's have investigations. Brilmara?
Investigation? 7.
You pick at random a few books from this area. Nothing seems to be particularly relevant to what you can see. You're looking through whole books at this stage. Very difficult.
Shall we send the boy on an investigation?
Using the history of the boy of the napping monks and his research skill, he works out roughly what sort of year he would be looking at to find more information from this sort of time, and he finds some information about the town and another book written about that time. It's mostly a collection of news articles, important things that have happened in the town.
Yeah.
And there is a picture of a young man about 18 years old.
Is he not feeling down?
He's not feeling down, no.
Good.
There's no need to feel down.
Is he getting his feet off the ground?
No, his feet are very firmly on the ground.
Oh.
He is, however, a young man.
He is a young man. Are we going to do the
Yes.
whole song?
No, let's not.
Good, because I don't think we can get the rights to that.
I also don't know the rest of the lyrics until the chorus, yeah.
It's fun to stay in the local militia. There is a young boy of 18 wearing chainmail, and over the top of this a white tabard with an image of a tree. It is upside down. It's not a colour image, so you can't tell whether or not it is blue.
But it is upside down and it is a
It
tree.
is upside down. It is on this boy's chest, and the article states that this is Einar Thordsson, the boy who came from such hardship, has just been promoted to captain of the guard at the age of 18. They talk about his incredible prowess with the sword and his drive to fight evil.
Oh, he's a paladin cunt, isn't he? Oh, I'm not surprised.
Anything else you want to do?
I mean, this is very good information that we've got so far. Captain of the guard.
Mhm.
Captain of the guard where? In
Napping.
the north area.
Yeah, in napping.
Do we know where napping is? Or is that something we would have to look up?
I mean, if you wanted to go back through the portal, I'm sure you could probably ask about an atlas.
I'm going to go back through the portal to ask about an atlas.
Let's do that.
do the thing.
Are you all heading back?
Yeah.
You head back through the portal, back down to the main lobby, and you see the elderly librarian gesturing over a mug in a slightly frustrated manner, muttering something, and moving his hands, and whatever he's doing isn't working.
Are you okay there?
Trying to do a bloody coffee. Can't get the thing to heat up. I used to have a spell for this. You find everything you want, and I hope you left it tidy.
Yes, we left it tidy. We found what we needed to find. We need to look for something else as well. But first, allow me to help a bit. I put my hand on the cup of coffee, and I see if I can't channel a less potent version of Burning Hands to try and heat up the coffee.
Roll with advantage for less than 10.
Okay.
Yay!
Oh, good.
Congratulations. You place your hands upon his cup, and after a few seconds, it bubbles up to warmth, and as soon as you sense that it is hot enough, you immediately remove your hand and finish casting the spell.
Oh, thank you very much. That's lovely.
And he picks up his mug and just does a little blow on it, and he's clearly warming his aged hands up on the sides of the cup.
Much better. What was this we're looking for?
We're looking for any information on a place called Napping.
An atlas in particular would be useful, just so we can get an idea where it is.
Atlas.
And he wanders around behind him and pulls out a very large book, slams it down on the desk, nearly spilling some of his coffee, flips it over, and starts rifling through.
No, napping. Goodness, ways away. There you go.
And he points to a large map. It shows both underdark and overground towns and cities, and you can see that this is probably a good week's ride north.
Damn. Okay.
Well,
it's certainly a lead.
It's a lead that, I suspect we're going to have to follow another time after we've gone back to work.
Yeah. I'm just noting down Napping.
I feel like at this point, we probably have everything that we desperately need from Groybon. Have we got sort of much time before we would have to start making our way back to work?
It's about a day's ride south from here, but in a slightly different direction, because you sort of came at it diagonally via Turtown. So, you've got about a day free for yourself.
And
I think
if we were to not go straight back, if we were to go back via Turtown, how much time would we have left?
If you leave now, you would have half a day in Turtown.
So, I'm going to suggest a potential option of what we could do if we were to, as maybe what we do next episode, is that we head back via Turtown and go kill a slimy shitbag on our way back home.
I thought you'd never ask. I think that's a very good plan.
All done with the library, you bid the librarian farewell. He seems fairly happy with his coffee and the fact that it doesn't seem to be on fire or too much of a mess in here. You carefully shut the doors behind us, and a waft of dust falls down from the top of the door as you do so. A little bit of paint cracks off. You head back through town, past the High Elves, past the Nestler store, back to the PolyArmoury, where you go and pick up the cart again and mount up and head back towards home via Turtown. You rumble along and all is pretty well. You come back into Turtown, past the PolyArmoury, past Daru's, and back into the shanty town, the little village. It's only been a couple of days, but it looks like the builders have been hard at work. There seems to be another couple of rooms worth of building on the upstairs section. Looks like they might have finished the floor at the back section, which would now mean that there is a ceiling above the stockroom. But wherever they are, they've knocked off now.
Is the entrance still a tent flap?
It is still a tent flap.
Okay.
Can I start by casting Unseen Servant and getting my Unseen Servant to basically give me an idea of answers to a couple of basic questions like, is Revo here? Is Scrum here? And are Scrum's orcs here?
Ogres.
Ogres, sorry, yes. Are Scrum's ogres here?
You send your unseen servant in. They are gone for a little while. When they come back, they somehow communicate to you.
Like
that,
taps on different eyes to yes or no.
Tap, jab you in each eye.
Yeah. Right eye for right.
you get the impression from your savage, unseen beating that Revo is here. Scrum is not. The ogres are not.
Okay. I apologize that I'm sort of like jumping very headfirst in on this, but like I very much have an idea, and after all of the transphobic shitbaggery, if you're okay with it, I would like to like jump in with sort of just a I'm gonna scare the shit out of him and then kill him plan.
Okay. Might I contribute? Because I have a new spell that I've been itching to use called Web.
What does web do?
You conjure a mass of thick, sticky webbing at a point of your choice within range. The webs fill a 20-foot cube from that point for the duration. The webs are difficult terrain and lightly obscure their area. If webs aren't anchored between two solid masses, each creature that starts the turn in webs or that enters them during the turn must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is restrained as long as it remains in the webs or until it breaks free.
Okay, so I think we
The webs are also flammable.
I think we can maybe work on a plan here. So I'm going to try and lure Revo out to this sort of alley behind the building that we, were down.
Are you going to do like a telepathic suggestion?
Yeah, I'm going to telepathically suggest something and try and convince him out here.
Okay.
After which, if you can web him to keep him in place.
Do you know what we should do? We should web him in the bin and then come up with a witty one-liner about how trash he is.
That's offensive to Trash Boy.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's true. Okay. Okay, let's lure him back into the alley and then I'll web him.
Okay, how are you going to lure him out?
I'm going to lure him out with, I think, something that would lure him out without him drawing too much unnecessary attention, perhaps. I'm going to send to his mind the image of a vulnerable woman huddled behind the bins. Perhaps just, trying to get some sleep out of sight somewhere.
I love the idea that these people that you interact with seem to suddenly think they've become telepathic. So, out of curiosity for the sudden image that has invaded his mind, the rather unintelligent and unquestioning Revo heads outside into the alleyway, where he immediately... have you hidden, or are you just there?
Oh, yes, I suppose we would have hidden.
Yeah. Let's say we are hidden enough that he won't immediately know we're here.
So, when are you going to announce yourself? Would he be past you, or...?
As soon as he's sort of suitably around this corner, and,
Right.
He is definitively, in this corner. Unless someone else comes around out here, they're not going to know that he's here.
Okay. He comes out, following his poor innocent girl radar. He walks to the end of the alleyway, looking to see if this strange image that appeared in his head has any truth to it. Never want to miss up an opportunity.
From the shadows, a whip flicks out, and dispensing from it gushings of sticky white goo rain down in a 20-foot radius right on top of the fucker.
Yeah, I know. What's all this? It's everywhere.
As this is happening, I step out and I simultaneously cast both Mirror Image and Thaumaturgy with the intention here of having 3 copies, so 4 total of myself, all with flaming red eyes, and I want to cause just whispers around his ears that just from all directions, it's just lots and lots of whispers of, oh, you're gonna die tonight, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're not gonna hurt anyone after today, you are in for a world of hurt, death.
So, intimidation, I'm guessing?
Yeah, start with intimidation, because why not? 16.
Yes, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get off me.
And can I attack him with my mace?
Please.
23.
damage.
Oh, you could have specified non-lethal and we could have dragged this out.
No, that is not my focus.
Okay, that's fair.
Right, so 5.
Okay, where are you aiming?
The head. Smack him in the head with a mace.
Oh my god. You have any idea who I am?
Oh, I know exactly who you are, and you are a disgusting piece of filth. So, first of all, I'm a woman. Second of all, I'm gonna kill you. Third of all, try not to enjoy it too much.
Call yourself what you want.
I will.
When
Thank
I
you.
get out, call yourself what you want. When I get out of here, I'm gonna destroy you. Scrum won't stand for this.
Well, you have to survive for that to be a factor, and I don't see that being too much of a problem. And I swing at him with the mace again. 16.
No one else is taking turns.
This is for Brilmara.
This one's for Brilmara.
I put up with some shit from this guy. I'm.
She has every right to take this on her own.
Yep, that's a hit.
Okay.
How much damage?
Another 5 bludgeoning damage.
Where are you aiming? Still there?
Still the head.
He's already starting to swell. His face is purple and bruised. There's a dribble of blood coming from his temple. His teeth are smashed and sharp and pointy. His nose is just... It's not meant to be that angle. And you imagine that if you poked it, it would make a sort of noise.
Oh, I think there's only one way to find out. No.
Do you have any last words?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just let me go. There's no need to end this in violence. So, I didn't mean it. I was just playing with you. It's just a joke. It's all just a joke. You don't have to do this.
Considering the things you've done to the people you've taken, I don't think it's just a joke is gonna cut it this time.
Just business. It's just business. No need to get like this. No need to get like this, darling.
And with him surrounded on all sides by the mirrors of Brilmara, all of them raise their maces for one more mace attack. 24.
And his head just fucking caves in.
And I just look to Valarie and Thrall. I'm like, I hope you don't mind we took a detour for this, but, oh god, I needed that.
I dry heave a little bit, but then I sort of get back up again and I just give a thumbs up.
Back home it is then.
Well, that was fucking hell.
That was the diversion I've been waiting several episodes to do, because, I did not like that NPC.
Yes.
So you only met them like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, and I've been since I met them, I've been waiting to kill them.
You're just leaving, yeah?
Well,
Wait,
we could always go and get some of the girls from the place before we go.
I think that's a very good idea.
I don't know where we would take them, but currently this place
I
seems...
know a place.
Oh!
I know somewhere.
Do we have time? Oh yeah, we do. It's not that far, is it? Okay, as best we can tell, this place is currently abandoned. We could just go rescue the rest of the girls and take them to a wonderful place that I wish we could be staying.
Another brothel liberated. Haha. Just adding to the tally.
In we go and attempt to get the girls to the cart.
Okay, marching through the door. There is a bugbear sitting in the same chair that you saw a few days ago.
Oh,
You're pretty
no.
sure it's the same one.
I think he's dead.
They
He's
don't
probably
just
just
seem
dead,
to have
isn't he?
moved. The bartender sees you and just shrinks down behind the bar and pretends he's not there.
Very wise.
Are you heading straight for the girls?
Yep, heading straight
Yes.
for the girls.
Okay, you slam through that back door and you hear a scuttling noise as the bartender just takes off through the front door. The flaps of the tent.
Can I argue that that I should get advantage on an intimidation check because there's currently 4 of me holding maces and covered in blood?
Why do you think he was running as soon as he saw you?
Okay, so if there's anyone else that doesn't immediately run, I feel like I should be pretty intimidating right now. One would hope.
Oh yeah.
You head through the back doors, past the door to the kitchen. Smells like something's cooking. Through into the hallway where all the girls' rooms are. How are you approaching this?
I think like SWAT raid style, kick the doors. Now I have a crossbow. I have my my piece. So I walk
Cut
up
the
to the
pie.
first door and I just kick the door down.
You kick the first door in, and there is a girl in there, alone, and she looks absolutely terrified and starts screaming because there are 4 demonic-looking Duragar with
Hey,
glowing
don't-
eyes,
I-
covered in blood and holding maces.
I turn to her and go, I know that I look terrifying right now, but I promise you the person who had you here is no more. We're going to try and get you somewhere safe.
She doesn't seem convinced
Can I do
or comforted.
Can I do a persuasion?
Of course, always.
9.
She's still terrified. You're
Right,
scary as
Brilmara, go around the corner and turn all of this off for a moment. I'll look after her, and I walk up and say, "Hi."
Of note,
hi,
you
it's okay.
didn't help. You did kick
Nope.
the door in.
I mean, I
you
wasn't
are holding
sure
a
there was gonna be
crossbow.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true.
I'm gonna go and turn all this stuff off for a minute.
Okay, I put away the crossbow and I very slowly approach the girl and saying, "It's okay. We know you're probably quite scared, but we're going to take you to somewhere much safer. Can I make a persuasion check?"
Natural 20.
She throws her arms around you and just starts sobbing. Thank you,
It's
thank
okay.
you. I've been here for so long. They just kept feeding me drugs. I don't even know how long I've been here. I was just
It's
walking
okay.
through the camp.
Shh. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to take you somewhere safe, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
I return having wiped some of the blood off myself, and there's no longer 4 of me with fiery eyes.
I
Now,
think
this-
I think with that persuasion check from Astrid, I think she's pretty convinced you guys are on the level.
Well,
Okay.
just for the other rooms as well, so that I'm not quite as imposing a presence.
Brilmara, can you take her to the car?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I start taking her to the cart, but I also leave. I also cast Unseen Servant with my remaining spell slot to hopefully just like assist Valarie with all of the other people that need assisting.
Awesome. Okay, so then what proceeds will be I walk up to the door, wait for the unseen servant to give the all clear, whether there's a girl in there or on her own, or if there's someone else in there.
So this is room number 2, yeah?
Room number 2.
Okay, you are alerted that there is somebody with the girl in there.
I kick the door down.
You kick the door down and you are greeted by the scaly bobbing ass of a kobold.
I yell, "Oi!"
And it skitters off of her and almost climbs the wall and hisses at you.
I roll a 12 on my light crossbow attack against the kobold's armor class, the kobold's bare-bottomed armor class.
It was quite a sudden moment.
5 points of damage.
You shoot that kobold a square in the head, and it falls down and pushes the bolt even further through its head
Oh.
and dribbles blood.
What's the state of the girl?
She's out of it.
Okay, I walk up and I lift her up. I take her out of the room.
I hope you cover her up a bit as well.
I cover her up a bit as well. I wrap her in if there's like a sheet there, I wrap her in it. I carefully carry her out the room and see if I can see Brilmara coming back or not.
Yeah, I believe Brilmara was just coming back.
Yeah,
Here's another.
and I start taking her to the cart.
Excellent. Next door.
Okay, Thrall.
Got an efficient system going on here.
Thrall gives you the points at both fingers, 2 fingers at eyes, and points at you, and then points at the door, and then throws the door open and backs away so that you can do your skid into the room holding the crossbow.
Yeah, I do like. Clearly, it's in slow motion as well. I sort of slide into the room. You know, like a Max Payne style run and slide across the floor. Who's in the room?
Nobody.
Oh,
You wasted a cool slow-mo slide.
You look dejected by the non-presence of anyone to see your cool move.
You can always do the cool slow-mo slide into the next room as well.
I can because nobody but Thrall has seen me do it, so it's still going to be equally as cool for everyone else.
I'm hoping that the unseen servant saw it and somehow communicates this to me later.
No. Okay. I go up to the next door.
Okay, you go behind door number 4.
Is the unseen servant still doing its thing?
Yeah, it's doing what you tell it for now.
Okay, the unseen servant advises you that there is a girl on her own in the room by jabbing you in the eye.
Okay, excellent. Oh, okay, good. I holster the crossbow on my back, and I gently knock on the door.
There's no response.
Okay, I open the door.
There is a girl there sleeping.
I knock a little bit louder on the door.
She seems to have stopped the shallow breathing of sleep, but she doesn't move or respond to you, really.
Oh. I walk up to... Hello?
She looks at you. She's not focused on you.
I kneel beside... I kneel... are they on beds, or...
It's sort of a pallet bed with a blanket on top.
Okay. I kneel beside the bed and say, "Hi, I'm going to take you somewhere safe, okay? I'm going to take you away from this place.
She doesn't respond.
Is it okay if I lift you up?"
She doesn't respond.
Okay. I just like to make sure. I gently pick her up.
She accepts that you are moving her.
Okay. I take her out the room. Check for Brilmara again.
As soon as I see them, I take her as well, and I try and get her to the cart as well.
Congratulations, you have freed all the girls.
We have liberated.
And we take them all back to the.
But before we do, I run around the corner of the brothel, and I cast burning hands in the direction of the web, just to set that little cunt ablaze a bit.
I was wondering if somebody was going to burn the body.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
He deserves nothing more.
And we don't even need any kindling because the web is flammable.
Yay! I'm not even going to make you roll for that.
Excellent.
He goes up like a bastard on
It
fire.
sounds
Like a
like
Christmas tree covered in lighter
It almost
fluid.
sounds like you're happy that your NPC is being killed.
Ding dong, the arsehole's dead. Da, 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 da. Ding
Awesome.
dong, the slimy fuck is dead.
Now, let's take these girls back. Let's take these girls somewhere safe.
You depart the scene, head back towards Castle Twilight. It takes you a little while to get there with all these girls on board. You are greeted, the greeter you met previously, and you explain the situation. These girls, you are informed, will be very much looked after. They won't be forced to work. They will be offered food, and if they need to depart, they certainly can do so whenever they want to. But they will have a safe space here where they will be looked after, and nothing will be expected of them. Congratulations, you have liberated another brothel.
Yes.
I feel like this is probably a good end to this episode. I feel like
I feel like it is.
yeah we did
good.
we did a good thing.
Well done.
We're heading home to work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot to write before next week. I
Oh,
feel.
heck.
Congratulations on liberating these poor girls from their captors. But Scrum is still out there somewhere.
We will take down his empire.
And what of everything else you have encountered? Perhaps we shall find out next week on PolyArmoury. So, thank you very much for joining us. Laura, where can we find you?
You can find me at Laura K Buzz on Twitter, YouTube, those kind of places. You can also find me Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 at kotaku.co.uk.
And Astrid?
If you go to jaffameister.com, that's JAFFAMEISTER.com, you can find all of my work, because I host it all there through various links and posts and all random other shenanigans. It includes comical communism video game themed features, indie game content on indiehaven.com, of which I'm the editor-in-chief, freelance content from Waypoint, and now on The Morning Star, where you can read my interview with some of Facebook's most popular socialist meme artists. And you can also find me on Twitter at Jaffameister, where I talk about various different things, and you should join the conversation.
Thank you. And I am Jane. I can be found at Maniac Janiac on Twitter. If you search for Maniac Janiac on YouTube, you will find me, although I am known as Silly Pook Monster. I don't know why. There was a period.
We all go through phases.
Ridiculous names, yay. Most of my work is collected together at stonemonkeyradio.wordpress.com. Thank you very much for joining us. If you happen to be an Apple user, the PolyArmoury podcast is now available on there under Stone Monkey Radio. Perhaps consider giving us a like and telling people about us. I hate to be the one that begs, but I do not ask for money yet. So it would be very kindly if you would share this about and let our little creation out into the world. Thank you very much. Join us again sometime. Bye.
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 We fucking did it, didn't we?